Okay, today we are going to draw a Hoop Petticoat Daffodil. It's a very unusual daffodil. I haven't seen one, but apparently they have them in the Glasshouse, I think, at the National Botanic Garden of Wales, called Narcissus bulbocodium, if that's how you pronounce it. I hope it is. I will be drawing the daffodil out in my watercolour pencils here, but you can do it in coloured pencils if you don't have watercolour pencils. Okay, otherwise you can draw it out in normal pencil, and check out the previous tutorial on how to draw daffodils. It might give you a few tips on where to start. So I'm going to take the colour that I'm going to use for the actual daffodil and use that, because I'm going to apply some paint later on. I'm going to apply some water later on top of the watercolour pencil and make it into watercolour painting. But you can only do this if you have watercolour pencils. You can buy them quite cheaply online. These, I think these came from W.H. Smith, and they're okay. They do work nicely. So this Hoop Petticoat Daffodil is actually quite acidic in colour. The yellow is quite acidic. So I've got a lemon, what they call a lemon yellow here, and I'm just going to effectively just colour it in, block out those colours of yellow. And you're going to repeat this exercise with all aspects of this drawing. So you'll draw the outline and then colour it in. And if you're just using coloured pencils, then you just leave it alone. If you're going to use your watercolour pencils, then you apply water on top. Okay, so there's two of these daffodils here, Narcissus bulbocodium, two of them. So we're just going to put another one here, and there'll be another one here, and there'll be two stems coming down. And I just want to quickly show, because I don't want this video to be too long, I want to quickly show you how to apply tone. So all you do is you look very closely at the image, and it's good if you have the image already downloaded, and if you go over the top of your blocked in colour with a stronger mark, this is in, when you use paint, this is called glazing, but this in pencil is just called over marking. So you're just applying a little bit of a harder line. Anywhere where there's a shadow, put some extra colour, like in there, and you'll soon see that it sort of starts to become more 3D just by additional application of the same colour. We could call it glazing. Okay, we have got some stamen in there, but I have got a white watercolour pencil, so I'll be using that later. But you can use your white watercolour pencil to increase highlights. So for example, this petal here is quite light. So if you apply some yellow and then apply some white over the top, then you'll find that it lightens up a bit. Either that, or you can just use a lighter mark making with the yellow. Just apply a lighter mark so that we can see the paper through. I'm using watercolour paper here because I'm going to apply water to it later on. So, but if you're just using coloured pencils, you can use any cartridge, watercolour paper, any paper really. Okay, so that's the yellow done. Do we need another tone in there? Maybe we do. Now, we have elements of green coming through this colour. So I'm just going to take a green. I'm going to lightly, just lightly add in some light marks of green. Now don't go overboard with this. You don't want your daffodil to be green, but there is an aspect of green tone coming through those yellow leaves. And remember that we want the daffodil to be transparent. So apply those marks, keep applying them, and see how you get on. The let me see, the stamen have a slight brown colour to them, the stigma and the stamen. So I'm just going to pop those in. Now, if you're doing just pencil, you can do this, but ideally you would put these in after the you've applied the water, if you're going to use watercolour pencils. So apply the yellow first, then wet it with your water, and then apply the other colours. So you do the yellow first and then apply the other colours. Okay, so now you can see I've got most of my colour down, and I'm going to start just applying a little bit of water. So I've just got some water here, some clean water, and I'm just going to start to apply the water to the daffodil. Now you'll see that the colour will just start to move around, and it's better that you apply the water to the yellow first. So all the yellow sections, just all you're doing with the water is blending, and you can see that the water helps the yellow become brighter, so the tone improves with the application of the water, and it really becomes very acidic, you can see. So apply it to the yellow areas first, and that's just in case the colour that you've put on that's green or brown or whatever it is that you've put on, just in case it's a bit strong and it won't go everywhere. So you just keep adding and blending as far as you want to blend it. You know, you might want to leave aspects of texture behind with the pencil. So for example, on the stems here, you know, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of texture, and you can see that the colour will drag downwards like this. So you can then add leaves and all sorts of other things. So just apply water very carefully and blend your colours together. Okay, I'm just going to finish this off and dry it. The next thing you'll see is I'll apply a black background so that they stand out a little bit more. You don't have to do this. If you like your daffodil, your Hoop Petticoat Daffodil on white, then leave it on white. Otherwise, apply a background. It doesn't have to be black. It can be blue, you know. But celebrate this wonderful flower and all the varieties they've got. I think they've got over 50 varieties at their botanical gardens. Visit when you can. And hopefully these tutorials will be up for St. David's Day, and you can buy a booklet on daffodils, a guide to the daffodils at the garden, and you can buy prints of both this Hoop Petticoat Daffodil and the Pheasant's Eye Daffodil by Mike Danford in the shop and online at the moment, I think. Okay, this one is found in the Great Glasshouse. It's a Mediterranean daffodil, so it needs to be a little bit warm. Enjoy.